what was jail for answering this. Yeah, that's 12.
What's up? When you on Shema, you have control of that.
Come, sir.
Yeah, so when you on Shema, you have. It's like we live.
I was looking for the mic, though.
Are we live now? Okay. Hey, Shalom, Baltimore. We're the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West 125th Street, all in New York. This is the Wednesday night biblical law class. Let's give it up. Hey, we've been bringing this truth out since 1969. That blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. Now, oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
You understand? You know, we're gonna get into a few topics tonight. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna point out some things that's been misconstrued. You see what I'm saying? In our community. You understand? Because of that devil that the Bible speaks of. You know, before I start, you got any questions in the room? Any questions? Anything like that? If you're online, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the class. It's going to be imperative that we push this truth. And the way we're going to push it online is by sharing these classes. You understand? Because there's a lot of people that still have not heard of being a biblical Israel, an Israelite according to the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? So the same way we woke up and we found out who we were because somebody, we seen it on the street, maybe we seen it online. We got to do the same thing for the sisters coming behind us. You see? Right. So my topic today, the first topic we're gonna get into is, these so-called OGs out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, they are the creators, or they are the progenitors of what we now call the YNs. Right. You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing. A lot of time, the youth, like if you talk to anybody right now, they always talk about how the youth is going crazy out here. They robbing, they killing. You see what I'm saying? They shooting everything up. They don't have respect like they used to have. This, that, and the third. You always hear the old heads talk about how, like, man, when we was coming up, it wasn't like this. You see what I'm saying? What's the reason it's like that now? Whose fault is it that it's the way it is right now? You see what I'm saying? We're going to see this in the scriptures. We got to realize, you so-called OGs, you are responsible for creating what the world has now coined YNs. These are young brothers. These are young brothers that's coming up that's misguided, have not been shown the proper way. Right. You see what I'm saying? Is it their fault? Is it their fault? Or is it our fault? Our fault. Meaning the older generation. These so-called YNs, you see what I'm saying? And I hate the term because it's such a derogatory term that we didn't coin now. You see what I'm saying? But we're so much more than YNs. Right. You see what I'm saying? But this is what we've been condensed to because of our youth have been failed by the older generation. And we're going to get that in the scripture. If I could, let me get Ecclesiasticus chapter 42 and verse 8, Brother Gasher.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42, verse 8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish.
Keep on.
And the extreme age that contendeth with those that are young.
They say, be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish. This is talking about the older generation. Right. This is talking about this. This ain't talking about the so-called YNs. This is talking about these so-called OGs out here. You see what I'm saying? The ones that should have the knowledge, the ones that should have the wisdom. It said, be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish and the extreme age. This is talking about the older cats. You see what I'm saying? This is talking to them. It's that contendeth with those that are young. How do the old How do they contend with those that are young? How do we see that today? You know, let's get the context about where we at right now. And the Bible's talking about how it say, be not ashamed to inform the unwise and the foolish. Who is that talking about?
The older brother.
It's talking about these older brothers out here. You see what I'm saying? The Bible's calling them unwise and foolish. It ain't blaming the so-called YNs or the youth. It's talking about the older generations that's they call themselves the OGs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The Bible called them unwise and foolish. And it said in the extreme age that contended with those that are young. How do they contend with those that are young? Good.
Trying to be like them, acting like they still in their youth.
That's one way.
Doing the things that the YNs do.
Yeah. That's one way. But it say when they contended with those that are young. How would an old head contend with a young cat right now?
Come eat.
Yeah, it's competing. But what we want to get into and what you see right now is they misguide and they lead the youth down the wrong lane. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you look at the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, and the 90s, what you see is all them brothers that you know consider themselves OGs right now.
Right.
They tuck their tail, man. A lot of them tuck their tail when things got hot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They went to prison, and when they went to prison, what did they do? What do most brothers do when they go to prison?
Become a Muslim.
They become a Muslim. Right? They become a Muslim for protection because they scared.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they raising up our young warriors to serve a religion that is not theirs, to serve a God that's not theirs. You see what I'm saying? To be second-class citizens to people that they should never be second-class citizens to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When we go on the streets every weekend, we say anything about Islam. Is it the Arab that come over there to defend that religion? La. It's the brothers. It's the brothers.
Right.
And it's typically an old head that brings them over.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's typically that old head they run over there running his mouth. You see what I'm saying? With a young brother, he don't know no better. He ain't got no information. He ain't been informed. He don't even know who an Israelite is. He don't even know who he is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We had a chance to even talk with him. A young brother say, you know what, you're right. You see what I'm saying? But it's always that old head that come thinking he knowing something, contending with the young ones.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Pushing a false god. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Salaki, a little technical difficulties. You understand? But here's the thing. What you want to see is, read that scripture from the top of the show.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42, verse 8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and the foolish.
They say, be not ashamed to inform them, man. Be not ashamed to tell them, man, we Israelites according to the Bible, man. We not no Muslims. We not no Christians.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Be not ashamed to inform these so-called OGs of who we really are, man. When we go out on that street corner, a lot of times it's the older cats that we got to battle with, you feel me? Because they so stubborn and they so set in their ways, they just want to come off and be right to seem like they know something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But here it is, we blame the youth for every single thing that's going on right now. It ain't the youth fault. You see what I'm saying? It ain't the youth fault. It's the brothers that came before. It's the brothers that can't. It's the older generation that has failed the youth, man. But yet we got so much to say about the youth. You see what I'm saying? Read that again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 42, verse 8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish,
Mm-hmm.
and the extreme age that contendeth with those that are young.
Keep going.
Thus shalt thou be truly learned and approved of all men living.
That shall thou be truly learned and approved of all men living. You see what I'm saying? You sit there and we can sit there and we can talk to the youth, man. And you know what? At the end of the day, you have a better chance. You have a better chance when you're dealing with the youth of at least finding common grounds where though you can actually start talking and having a dialogue.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when you start talking to these old heads, it's like you can't tell them nothing, man. They so unlearned. And the Bible calls them unwise and foolish, man. But yet still we blame the youth for every single thing. The Lord don't blame the youth. You see what I'm saying? Like when we want to coin it, the YNs and stuff like that, them YNs ain't the ones at fault, man.
Right.
These so-called OGs, these Christian high roller pastors and Muslim imams, you see what I'm saying? They are the ones to blame. They're the ones to blame, man. Because we let down our youth.
Right.
That's what we got to understand. Drop there. Let me get numbers 14 and 27, Brother Bashar. Like it's certain things that we should know, especially in this day and age. You see what I'm saying? With the way information flows, it's certain things that every brother should know right now. You see what I'm saying? It's certain things as it pertains to the Most High and who we serve. There's certain things that we should know and that we should be doing. The problem is we got people standing in the way. We got people standing in the way, and that's what the issue is, man. Right. That's why you see a lot of these young brothers out here doing X, Y, and Z. Lord knows what. You go into the prison, it's every crime under the sun. You ask them, who are you? What's your nationality? They don't even give you a race. They don't even say a race. What they say? You ask them who they are. No, they don't even say that. When you talk to these young cats and stuff like that, especially the ones in prison, you ask them, man, who are you? What are you? Muslim. What they going to identify as? Muslim. They're going to identify as their religion. Right. Hey, I'm a Muslim. Hey, I'm a Christian. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because these religions promote that type of behavior. You see what I'm saying? Right. Being a Muslim, being a Christian promotes violence. When you can't get your way and you can't get your point across, you got to remember Christianity as well as Islam was forced by what? By the sword. It was forced by the sword. You see what I'm saying? Their religion is built off of violence and unaliving. That's why you got brothers so damn violent, you see what I'm saying, they go into these religions because that's what the religion was built off of. Right. You see what I'm saying? You got that? Come. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 27. How long shall I bear with this evil? How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me.
All right, just to give you a little background where we at, this is when Israel was in the wilderness, when the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt. Mind you, to set the scene, we just came through the Red Sea. Right. We just seen the Lord part the sea, and we walked through it. We didn't just seen Pharaoh's army. The Lord completely demolished them. We just witnessed all of this. We're in the wilderness now. And then you got backbiting. You see what I'm saying? People running their mouth. Man, come on, what's up, Lord, man? Why you bring us out here? He bring us out here. He could have kept us in Egypt for all that. You see what I'm saying? The Lord heard that, man. You sit there running your mouth on the Lord and just the Lord just showed you his power. And yet still you murmuring and backbiting. You see what I'm saying? Read that from the top. Let's see what the Lord has to say about that.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 27. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation?
The Lord say, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation? You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, how long am I going to deal with it? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
How long am I going to put up with this? I done showed them my power. I done showed them that I'm with them. And they still running their mouth. How long am I going to bear with this evil congregation? Keep going.
Which murmur against me.
Which murmur against me? You running your mouth about me? Look how offensive it is. You see what I'm saying? Just and I always liken it to, imagine being a parent and you doing everything for your child. You see what I'm saying? You getting up, you going to work, you working 80 hours a week, you sacrificing everything just to hear your child running their mouth about you. Oh, they don't do this. I could stay with aunt such and such. I'd have been better over at grandma's house. At least she let me do what I want to do. They running their mouth. You see what I'm saying? The disrespect that.
Always find something to complain about.
Always finding something to complain about. Who that sound like?
That's the children of Israel.
Children of Israel, but even more so, that's the Christian church, y'all.
Yeah, Christian church.
That's the Christian church. That is the Christian church. That is the black Muslim mosque.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Murmuring, running their mouth about the Most High. You understand?
Right.
Keep going.
I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me.
Lord said, man, I hear this. Every time they run their mouth about I'm not the true power, and they screaming, you got brothers screaming Allahu Akbar. You see what I'm saying? You got brothers saying that out their mouth. The Lord hear this, man. The Lord gets offended. If you can get offended about something, you think the Lord can't?
Right.
So you got the children of Israel running their mouth and running to all these false gods and shit. The Lord said, man, I'm hearing the murmurs.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 28. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you.
The Lord said, listen, say it to them, as truly as I live. Same way you ran your mouth about me, watch what I do to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, the Christian church and the Muslim mosque, they paint the Most High and they paint Yahushua as suckers, man. That you can do anything to, that you can salt to any kind of way. You can live your life any way you want to, and they gonna still rock with you. Nah, that's not the God of the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Keep going with them.
Verse 29. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you.
Hold on. It's your carcasses. Your flesh is going to fall in this wilderness. You feel me?
Right.
You are going to be unalived in this wilderness. You're going to be unalived in these streets for running your mouth. You see what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. You running your mouth and you talking all this nonsense. You feel me? You gonna get left where you. You 12?
I'm sorry.
Come. So pick up where you left off.
I'm gonna start back at the top. Numbers chapter 14, verse 29. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward.
From what?
From 20 years old and upward.
Go ahead.
Which have murmured against me.
So the Lord is saying from 20 years and up, all you from 20 years and up, they ran your mouth about me. You seen what I did. I mean, you seen the plagues that I brought through Egypt. You seen how I brought you through Egypt. You seen how I parted that Red Sea, and you still running your mouth? Listen, everybody that's 20 years, everybody that's 20 and up, read that. What's going to happen with them?
Verse 30. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein.
The Lord say, you are not coming into this promised land now. you are not coming into my promised land. Why is the Lord saying this? Why is the Lord saying, listen, if you 20 and up, your carcasses are going to lay in this wilderness. You are not coming into my promised land. You know what I mean? Why is the Lord saying this?
Getting rid of the doubters.
Get rid of the doubters, but in specific, who?
The older generation.
There we go. The Lord say it's the older generation running their mouth out. And if I bring them into my promised land, they're going to run their mouth and they're going to turn the younger generation against me too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So therefore, I'm going to get rid of all of that. Anybody 20 and up, they got to go. They can't even come into the promised land. Go ahead,
I'm just agreeing with what you said. Lord said 20 and up. So basically, people would have the older generation.
There you go.
That's exactly.
There you go. So when everybody talking about the YNs right now and they running amok and they doing stuff like this, man, we ain't never did stuff like that. You looking down on these young brothers out here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can only, we could, and I'm saying we, here in ISUPK, we go out and we teach these young brothers, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you ain't in this ISUPK, you turn your nose up to these young brothers.
Right.
But yet and still, you have never taught them. Yet and still, you have never stood for them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The principalities that came to destroy them, instead of you standing up and fighting to that and potentially using your life for that, you ran. You see what I'm saying? You ran and saved your life.
Right.
Instead of standing in the face of fire and saving these young brothers, man, and these young sisters. You ran. And then you ran and hid amongst other religions. That's what you did. You ran and put on you know, the spirit of Islam. You ran and put on the spirit of Christianity. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you see these young dudes all out here and they running wild, and you sit back like you had no hand in it. No, the Lord say, listen, everybody that's 20 and up, man, you're not even coming into this promised land.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The Lord is placing the blame where the blame belongs. I mean, we could talk about the youth all day long. We can say what they doing wrong and how we ain't do it, as if we had a moral compass that we was doing it by.
Right.
Man, they shooting everybody. We ain't shooting no women and children. Who gives a damn? You were still shooting your brother.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't care. No one taught them anything. They shouldn't even be shooting nobody. That's what you should be teaching them. Damn a street code. What does the Lord say? Keep going up.
Save Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun.
It's a save Caleb and save Jephunneh. I mean, save Caleb and save Joshua. These are the only two. These are two brothers allowed to come in with them 20 and under. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These are the only two brothers allowed to come in there because of the spirit that they had.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they did not have the spirit of murmuring and backbiting against the Lord. They had the spirit to serve the Lord. You see what I'm saying? And this is here in the ISUPK. This is exactly what we're doing. Well, everybody condemns the youth and misguides them and leads them into false religions and have them praying to false gods. We are showing the youth who their true power is, man.
Right.
Not only showing them, it's like we're living examples of, we was once there. We was once there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The only difference between you and I is that we learned who our power was and we came back and started serving them, but you can too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can as well.
Right.
That's what the Lord has called us to do. That's what the Lord called the aged man to do. Go back and get that youth, man. Get that youth and bring them up and raise them up right. You see what I'm saying? Keep going, though.
Verse 31. But your little ones, which ye said should be a friend, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised.
Yeah, so the ones that you said, hey, we got to go back to Egypt because, what's going to happen to our babies? They going to get caught up out here. They're going to get unalived. These are the ones they going to come into this promised land, but you ain't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The Lord will protect them. Man, that's what we got to realize, man. The Lord is going to stand for the men who serve Him. If you don't serve the Lord, I don't care what kind of defense mechanisms you think you got. I don't care how tough you think you are. You see what I'm saying? You ain't serving the Lord up. You don't have protection.
Right.
You run into these false gods. Like you run into these false gods. Like I don't see how brothers can run into that Muslim religion. You see what I'm saying? You run into that Muslim religion. What have the Muslim religion did for black people? What has the Muslim religion did to black people? Did for black people? You see what I'm saying? God is out here. Hey, Salaki, you're having some technical difficulties with the camera. You know, just be patient with us. But like I'm saying, like these religions have taught us to be weak. Have taught us like, how can we go into a religion where we are second-class citizens in it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like if you look at all the benefits of being a Muslim, none of it comes to the black community.
Not at all.
None of it. Where is the wealth that comes from being a Muslim? But if you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to Afghanistan, you go to all them nations, you see them, you know, yeah, you see some poor, but you see them, they living wealthy over there.
Right.
They choose to oppress their own people. That ain't got nothing to do with the religion. That got something to do with them.
Right.
But the wealth is going to them. What wealth is a black man getting being a Muslim? You see what I'm saying? How has that changed our communities? It's changed it for the worse. It's changed it for the worse because you got two black men that see each other, and because one is a Muslim, we can't have a conversation now. You don't even consider me your brother now.
Right.
You will go over there and you will ride with an Arab before you come and stand with your brother, man. Being in these religions, it makes you a traitor to your people and to the Most High God Himself. And this is what these old heads are teaching these young brothers to do, man. If you look at all the brothers that are shooting and unaliving out here, you can ask them, you know, what religion are you? Just ask them that. Or who are you? They're going to tell you either Muslim or Christian.
Right.
Guaranteed, 100%. You see what I'm saying? Any more on that with them?
Wow, sir.
Where you stopped at?
Verse 31.
Go to 32, Public Show.
Verse Numbers chapter 14, verse 32. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness.
I say, as for you, your carcasses is going to fall in this wilderness. This is talking to the older generation, man.
Right.
This is talking to your so-called leaders of black people. You see what I'm saying? Your TD Jakes and your what's the other ones? Jamal Bryant's and
Right.
all of them.
Creflo
Dollars. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the old heads that teach our young brothers that you ain't got to follow no laws, man.
Right.
You know, that our laws are done away with. The Most High laws are done away with. You see what I'm saying? Like, what should our young brothers be learning? What should we be teaching them, man?
Teaching them is true.
We're going to get in the scripture. Let me get Proverbs 22:6, Publisher. When you get, you know, read.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So it say, train up your child in the way to go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You see what I'm saying? What are we training our child? How are we raising our sons right now, man? How are we raising our daughters right now, man? We're raising our children, older generation, are raising our children, and we're saying that the Most High law, statutes, and commandments are done away with.
Right.
All you got to do is believe in Jesus, and that's all you got to do, and you're a good person. You know, he's going to love you forever.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's it. Or they teaching you, you know, and you know, to be a Muslim, and you know, your Arab, that's your brother. But if you see another brother, he ain't a Muslim, you can unalive him, and it's perfectly good, perfectly okay with Allah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what they think. I'm telling you, that's what they think. They don't look at you and say, "That's a brother. That's my brother." If you're not a Muslim, here's the thing: they don't really care about unaliving each other either. But on the face value of it, if you're not a Muslim and they unalive you, they can be forgiven for that.
Right.
But they can't be forgiven if you're another Muslim. How about black man to black man? How about we don't do that, period?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So what are we raising our child, man? How are we raising our child? We're raising our kids to feel like we could do all manners of wickedness, you feel me? But as long as you say them 5 prayers a day in that Islamic religion, and as long as you believe in Jesus, everything is A-OK.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is how we're failing. This is how we're failing our children, man. It's a train up a child in the way to go. But if you train up a child in the way not to go, then it becomes 2 and 3 times harder to get them on the right track, man.
Right.
Because they get so far gone that all they can remember is, like, how many times you see people when we first tell them, man, celebrating Christmas is a sin.
Right.
A lot of people can't get over that. Huh? That is a stumbling block for a lot of people because they've been doing it since birth.
Right.
Since they came out the womb. You know, they get depressed now at Christmas time because they know the Lord don't want them celebrating it.
Right.
How about celebrating your birthday?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? How many brothers and sisters feel some kind of way about not being able to celebrate their birthday just because they've done it their whole life?
Right.
Like I've had people say, "Well, you celebrate Christmas. Why would you take that away from your children?" Goddamn Christmas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Who cares about a Christmas, man? When you got to serve the real God, man. The scriptures say, "Train your child up in the way to go, and it shall never depart from them," man.
Right.
But the flip side of that coin is you train them up in the wrong way, then you create more stumbling blocks for them as they get older. You feel me? So,
and again, they will never depart. Train them up wrong, and they will never depart.
and listen, it's hard as hell. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Salah, you're this bad with this camera situation. Fuck with the show. Any more on that with them?
Unless you want to go down to number 7.
Go ahead. Read number 7.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
Yeah, it's kind of separate, but if you look at it, here's the thing. This is what happens when we go into these religions. We go into these other religions, we become lenders out.
Right.
We poor, we broke. You see what I'm saying? That's what Christianity and Islam has got us, man. You see what I'm saying? We don't have nothing of our own.
Right.
Because we serving these false gods, man.
We become
the borrower. When we supposed to be the lender.
Right.
They supposed to be coming to us. That we can find that in Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Where the scriptures talk about how you're gonna have to borrow and you're gonna be in need for all things.
All things.
And want for all things. Huh?
Yeah.
These other nations should be coming to us and begging and borrowing for us. But because we go into these other religions and we sin against our power, man, now we're on the bottom end.
Right.
We on the tail end of this. You see what I'm saying? Drop that. Let me get Deuteronomy 6:6, brother. Sure. We got class with us. We got
Young man Brian. Oh,
yeah, we got young man Brian in the class. We got young man Andrew. We got Sister Sage. Who else? There's another sister in there. Sister Toya.
see,
And we got everybody in the chat with us. You feel me? Listen, if you got any questions, if you got any comments,
Sister Daryl Lynn. Well,
Sister Daryl, yeah, it's like it. Sister Rawad. Got them in class with us. Listen, if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and post them in the chat while we going, Brother Bashar. If I could, let me go in and get Deuteronomy 6:6, Brother Bashar.
you want them to stay on subject?
Huh?
You want them to stay on subject or anything?
No, they can ask whatever question they have, they can ask.
Okay. Come in concert.
When you get it, you can go and read.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
It is the Lord saying these words, man. They say, which I command this day shall be in thine heart. This is talking about the law, the laws and statutes and commandments of the Lord, man.
Right.
These things should be in our heart. You see what I'm saying? The conversations we should be having with our kids, man, we should be sitting down at the dinner table talking to our kids about keeping the law, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, what's up? At your house? You got somebody there? Come. Yeah, so if you look at the scripture, it says in verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. You teach these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. You teach these diligently to your kids, man. That they're going to understand these things, man. That they're going to realize you can't live your life a certain way. You can't do certain things. It's people you can never lay down with. You see what I'm saying? It's certain foods you shall never eat. Like, we got to realize these are the conversations we should be having with our kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, all you hear right now, you hear OGs sitting down and they running their mouth about old war stories about how they was selling dope and coke back in the day. They was getting so much money. They went to prison. They was the man. They came back out, got back on. You see what I'm saying? Everything is about us being subservient. You see what I'm saying? The things we should be doing and the conversations we should be having with our kids is about these laws, man. Like, at the end of the day, and understand, like, this oppressor, he plays a big part in this too. But you also got these black leaders, man. You got these black leaders who they allowed these things to happen. They supposed to be shepherds for the community, but they allowed these things to happen. They sold out for money and for position, for position and for fame. You see what I'm saying? But you talk about. Okay. So you got a question now? Good.
Going back to what class Monday or General Yohana was saying about Big Six.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes sense about how the Big Six who established us to go against the Most High and the people right.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
So that's what thinking back on what you said. It makes a lot of sense how the Big Six was. Gods, white man.
Yeah.
Whatever they did to the Big Six people that had go out there and destroy black people.
And here's the thing, this is what we got to realize. A lot of times these so-called leaders of our community,
Right.
you got to realize when they in position, you think that they in position to do us justice. In order to get into those positions, they had to sell us up a river already.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They had to they went into whatever position that they're in with this already in place. You're not going to talk about this. You're not going to stand up for that. When you see these certain laws these bills being passed, you're not going to go against them. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is we got to realize this is what our leaders are doing. Then it trickles down. These are what a lot of the old heads are doing as well, man. You see what I'm saying? Good, man.
They tell them that we'll open the door for you, but you can't bring anybody else in.
Right. We gonna open the door for you at a cost.
Right.
You got to push our agenda.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You ain't getting in here because you're just talented. You got to come in here and you got to do something for us.
Exactly.
I seen an article where it was some billionaire LGBTQ alphabet dude. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And he tried to pay, he wanted to pay Lamar Jackson a certain amount of dollars to promote the alternative lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? He was gonna give him X amount of money and give him shares in different corporations and stuff like that. Lamar turned that down, man. Lamar turned it down. But you know how many black leaders did not turn that down? You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of black leaders that did not turn that down. That's why when you see oppression and you see injustice, they can't even speak on it, man. Their mouth has been sealed. And this is the Lord is talking about. This is why the Lord said they can't even come into the kingdom, into the promised land, man. They done made deals with the wrong side, you know?
Right.
But going back to the verse 7, like these are the conversations we should be having with our kids, man. You know how the scripture say we meditate on the law day and night.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You talking about?
Come.
Lord, the scripture say we meditate on this law day and night, man. This is what we should be talking to our kids about. Like, our kids should know what the high holy days are. They should know the commandments of the Lord. They should know the feast days. They should know that eating pork and eating crab and lobster and stuff like that is unclean. They should know, dealing with another nation, you can't have a girl from another, a girlfriend or a boyfriend from another nation. Our kids should know that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is what the scripture is saying. This is what these are the conversations we should be having. This is how you train your child in the way, and it should never depart from them, man. But here it is. We got our leaders. They've never done this. You see what I'm saying? These leaders, these so-called OGs, and they want to be respected, and they want people to look at them and reverence. You see what I'm saying? They don't. Here's the thing. How can you demand so much respect and so much reverence? But when it comes to the Most High God himself, you're so disrespectful.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can disrespect the Most High and do whatever you want under the sun, but then you want somebody to respect you.
Right.
It don't work that way. It don't work that way. That's why the Lord said, I'm going to lay them down now. You see what I'm saying? Any more on that?
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way.
Listen, when you sitting in your home, man, you should be talking to your kids about these scriptures, man. About these laws, these statutes, and these commandments, man. That should be the topic of conversation. You see what I'm saying? When y'all rolling out,
issue. Yes.
yeah, so we in our homes, man. When we round about with our kids, this is the things we should be talking about. Keep going with that.
And when we walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Yeah, listen, the Most High law, statutes, and commandments should be the topic of discussion. You see what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: it teaches us how it teaches us how to deal in everyday life with anything we deal with. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It teaches us how to behave. It teaches us how to act. If you got to wake up and eat breakfast this morning, you see what I'm saying? You making decisions based off of what you know about what you know the Lord wants. You see what I'm saying? You can't go to McDonald's and get that sausage, that sausage, egg, and cheese. You feel me?
Right.
That sausage is pork. So you know you got to make that decision.
Right.
When you wake up, that should be on your mind. You see what I'm saying? When you get up, I mean, your kids start going to school and stuff like that. Now, you can't have a so-called white girlfriend. You can't have an Arab girlfriend. You can't have an East Indian girlfriend or boyfriend.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Anybody you deal with got to come through me. These are the things in the conversations we should be having with our kids, man. Not how many packs we used to sell. You see what I'm saying? And when I was in there, man, with the Muslims, we was running things in jail. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
all these so-called war stories. You feel me?
Right.
Because here's the thing. That be the topic of conversation. So every so-called YN, they prepare themselves to go into those situations. You didn't heard it so long.
Right.
Like I think General Hyman was saying, like, black men didn't expect to live past what, 21, 22? Like you made it like 21, you felt like you was, man, I done arrived.
That was me.
You see what I'm saying? You get to 25, you feel like you on borrowed time.
That's an OG back then.
That's your OGs. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even started living, like your brain ain't even properly formed yet.
Right.
And you act like you done lived so much life, man. But this is what happens when this is the topic of discussion.
Right.
When that's all we feed into our kid. And we feed into the youth, violence and all this nonsense, you feel me? You got to feed the things to the Lord, to our children, what the Lord wants them to have, man. That's the substance that we're supposed to be feeding our children. These are the conversations we should be. If you got a child, man, don't be ashamed to talk to your child about the Lord, man.
Right.
Don't be embarrassed to sit there and have conversations with them about what they should and shouldn't do according to the Lord. Because guess what? If you don't do it, this society is going to teach them everything the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to be aggressive in doing it. Then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to have a YN.
Right.
And you're going to be that OG sitting there talking about, man, it wasn't like that in my time. We didn't do stuff like that when I was coming up. Well, why the hell are your kids doing it? You feel me? Because you failed them. That's and honestly, that's what we're faced with.
Right.
We're faced with the fact that we have failed the youth, man. So any problem that we see with them, we can only blame ourselves. And that's the truth of the matter. Drop that. Let me get Psalms 119 to 9, Brother the show. You're going to read it when you get it.
Psalms 119, verse 9. Beth, wherewithal shall a young man cleanseth his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
And say, wherewithal shall a young man. They don't even call him young man no more, you feel me? He's a YN, a young, you feel me?
Right.
It's a wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way. Where should a young man learn to do righteous things? Where should he go? How should he go about getting himself clean, man? You see what I'm saying? That's what the Lord is asking. It's by taking heed thereto according to thy word, man.
Scriptures.
You got to get into this book, man.
Right.
And that's why we tell people, if you're not in the ISUPK, man, and you're not coming up under Commander General Han, you're not in the truth of it. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of things that's being taught is not in this book. The Lord is saying this is how a young man learn to be cleansed. Start keeping these law, statutes, and commandments, man. Start learning what not to do. Keep on,
Verse 10. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments.
And say, oh, let me not wander from thy commandments, man. If you was to ask brothers right now, to tell me And it was over 600 laws in the Bible. But what's the we it's 10 of them that is famous.
Right.
And those 10 encompass everything else.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Our children should be able to quote those 10 commandments, man.
Right.
They should know them 10 commandments because we done had conversations and we done talked about them so through and through. You see what I'm saying? How many of us can sit there and tell and recite what the 10 commandments are?
Amen.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how many people can sit there and really go through this without touching your Bible? You see what I'm saying? And go through and do the 10 commandments and then do them in order. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If we can't, you can't tell me it's hard to do because you go and you see any rap song, you see kids turned up and they singing it word for word. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell me we can't learn the 10 commandments.
Right.
You can't tell me we can't learn the law of God, man. This is something that we should be teaching our children.
Right.
This is something we should be putting in there. Because everything else that they should not have is being force fed to them. At the very end of the day, the very least we can do is give them the word of the Lord, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what the Lord is saying. No one has given these so-called YNs the word of God, man, except the ISUPK. Like, we go on the street and battle every weekend. We go on the street and battle every weekend. So when you see Christians and Muslims coming up and they getting angry, that's because we're attacking something that they hold dear to them, man.
Right.
We're attacking a false God that's unaliving their people. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're attacking that false God and that philosophy and that religion to the point where as though they want to contend and argue with us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if we don't do it, who will?
Right.
If the Lord's priests and prophets don't do it, who will?
Right.
The OGs? The OGs are the ones got them in it. They the ones sending them into the street with these missions. Any more on that?
Well,
Where you stopped at? Verse 10?
verse 12.
No, you stopped at 10, I believe.
No, I did 11.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, wow. Yeah, didn't I do verse 11?
No, you did verse 10.
Verse 11.
No, matter of fact, drop there. Let me get Isaiah 51 and 20.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted.
And say, thy sons have fainted, man. They've grown weak. I mean, our sons have grown weak. These are what we consider the YNs. They've grown weak. They fainted. Go ahead.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
They said he lied at the head of all the streets. You feel me? Who's standing on the corners?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying, hey, everybody ain't on the corner. There's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans standing on the corners, man. This is who this is talking about. We've grown so weak, we standing on the corners. Go ahead.
As a wild bull in a net.
They say it's a wild bull in the net. You see what I'm saying? I mean, ain't that what they call him up in Philly? Young bull.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They call him young bull.
Going crazy.
That's how you know it's us that is talking about. You see what I'm saying? They wilding.
Right.
You look at the gang wars, man. These are brothers shooting from a block away.
Right.
You got a corner store in the middle of the block. You get caught going to that corner store, you might lose your life, man.
Right.
This is that young bull. This is that bull that's talking about the net. You ever see a bull in the net, man? He get out and he vicious. Wow, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Who won it?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the energy. That's the energy of these young guys, man. You see what I'm saying? But it's for reason. It's a reason for that. Keep going.
They are full of the fury of the Lord.
They're full of the fury of the Lord, man. They're full of the anger. They're full of the anger of the fury, the viciousness of the Lord. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep going.
the rebuke of thy God.
The rebuke of thy God. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what our young men have been, this is what they've been left with. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, our young men have been left with this. You see what I'm saying? Like, you talking about that wild bull on the internet. That's a trap. That's a trap. What we call the drug house? We call it trap house. That's that wild bull in that net. You see what I'm saying? This is all because of these so-called OGs not raising them properly, man. Listen, don't get me wrong. We're not taking credit. We not taking responsibility and blame away from the so-called white man. But at the end of the day, you can't sit there and blame these young brothers when these older brothers have done nothing to correct their behavior, to even teach them the correct behavior.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and we see it a lot when we go to camp. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We see it a lot when we go to camp. You'll have an older brother, and you'll have a younger brother. A lot of times you can talk to that younger brother. It's that older brother that come. It's that older brother that come, and you can't talk nothing. He want to be the one to talk. He want to be the one to teach. But he's a Muslim. He's Muslim, and he telling you why you can't say nothing about Islam. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But yet and still, you got brothers and stuff being unalived every single day. No one gives a damn about that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what the Lord is talking about. So here's my thing. So the scripture we read earlier, it talked about us teaching our kids these commandments and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So what should we be teaching our kids? What should we be teaching these so-called YNs? You see what I'm saying? What should we teach them?
These laws.
We should definitely teach them these laws. You feel me? You know, and that's going to be the second part. That's going to be the second part of this class, man. We actually want to get into some of these laws. You feel me?
Right.
We're going to get into the 10 Commandments, and we're going to keep going with it. You see what I'm saying? So if I could, let me get Exodus 20. Because here's the thing: if we don't teach it to them, how can you ever expect them to learn? But how can you ever blame them for anything that they do? You see what I'm saying? How can you blame someone for something you never taught them?
Right.
Like, even like the Most High has raised up priests and prophets to send into the streets to teach his people, man, because he knows that at the very least, I got to send somebody to teach them. If I don't send somebody to teach them, they done, man. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we got to teach our sons. This is what we got to teach our daughters. You feel me? You there, Become?
Verse 20. I mean, you said
Exodus chapter 20.
verse.
And we can start in verse 1.
Exodus, verse 20. Chapter 20, verse 1. And God spoke all these words, saying,
Good.
verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Here it is. The Lord is he's telling you who he is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And he's telling you the audience in which he spoke to. He only brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of the land of house of bondage. You see what I'm saying?
Right. He's
talking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans right now.
Right.
This is who this law, these commandments, he's speaking to. You see what I'm saying? The Lord he's identifying his audience right now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So this is for every brother, every sister, you black, Hispanic, or Native American. This is the Lord speaking to us, man. These are things that we should be doing. These are not negotiable. Like, these are laws right here that, you know, whether you feel like doing them or not, you better do them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? These are things that you can't. There is no compromise with these rules, with these commandments. You see what I'm saying? That's what we got to understand. Keep going.
Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
It say, thou shalt have no other gods before me. You see what I'm saying? So when it says, thou shalt have no other gods before me, what does that mean? It seems simple, but what does it really mean? Give me some examples. If you're online, you can give some examples of what having other gods before me, what that is too. Go ahead,
The Muslim mosque.
The Muslim mosque.
The white Jesus.
The Caesar Borgia. You understand that so-called that white Jesus that they got up there?
Sometimes we got us black folks betting. Right. Woman even for that God.
There you go. A woman could be something, because you got to remember, what does God mean?
Something you put before the
But when they say you should have no other gods before me, you see what I'm saying? Like, what is, when they say we should have no other gods before me, what does that mean?
putting off the Most High for something else.
What does God mean?
Loving something.
What does God mean?
Now makes a little bit worship.
No. How? You should have no other power before me.
Money.
You see what I'm saying? And that helps you get into it. You see what I'm saying? You should have anything you put before the Lord is that God.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Whether you worship women and you put that before the Most High, that's your God. You feel me? You put it before the Most High, that is a sin out.
Right.
If you worship money and you put that before God, that is a sin. You see what I'm saying? You put these false religions, you see what I'm saying? You praying to Buddha and Allah and you praying to Caesar Borgia, that is a sin to the Lord. Huh?
Right.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. You understand?
Right.
This is what the Lord is saying. He comes first. He comes first. Huh? What does that mean? When you say the Most High comes first, what does that mean?
Anything you do, the Most High should be in it. So you should think about what you're doing. If it goes against the Most High, then it shouldn't be done.
Absolutely. That's the moral compass you got to have. These law, statutes, and commandments should never be broken because you're putting him first.
Right.
You understand? So when you put the Most High first, that means all his laws, everything that he told you to do, that takes precedence over everything else.
Right.
And then from there, you can do other things, but it still has to be done in accordance to keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what putting God first means. If you put anything before that, you out of order. You know, if you put, in the Christian church, they say, well, God done away with, he said, you can eat any food. So eating crabs is not a sin. You see what I'm saying? You're sinning because not only because of dietary laws, but you're sinning because you're putting something before the Most High, man.
Right.
That philosophy of Christianity and all the laws are done away with, that is a sin.
Right.
You being a Muslim, being able to and praying to a false God and being willing to unalive your brother, that is a sin. The Lord said, do not do it. You understand? That you put all these things over the Most High, I'm about getting money. Money, if it ain't about money, I ain't in it. You see what I'm saying? Like, Lord ain't putting no money in my pocket. You had that attitude if you want to. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Lord said, I will leave you in this wilderness. I'm going to leave you where you stand. You see what I'm saying? That's what this means when they say, thou shalt have no gods before me. Because here's the thing, there is no other God. Think about that. There is no other deity or no other power.
Right.
There is none. But if you make something have a power and you put that before the Most High, you're sinning against the Lord.
Right.
That's what the Lord is saying, man. This is what we got to teach our young brothers. If we teach our young brothers that, maybe they won't go into that Muslim mosque. Maybe they won't go into that Christian church.
Right.
Maybe they won't go to that dumbass Christian conscious community. You see what I'm saying? Because they know if I put these things against over the Lord, and I start doing certain things that the Lord told me not to do, man, I'm going to be at odds with the most high power.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth.
Yeah, it say, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You see what I'm saying? What's an engraven? What's an engraven image? Give me an example of a graven image.
Statue. That'll be a statue, right?
Say it again.
That'll be a statue, right?
Say it again.
Statue.
A statue can be calm.
So can it be a tattoo?
It could be a tattoo. Whatever.
Or it could be something in your mind.
Or it could be something in your mind. You see what I'm saying? You talk about engraving images and these things that people worship. That Christian cross that people wear around their neck,
Right.
That's a graven image. You feel me? They worship that cross.
Right.
You got to realize they the Ku Klux Klan set fire to it. People didn't pray to that or to in front that cross before. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't say that about this. This is a shield. This is the Magun Dawadah. This is a shield of David. We don't worship this shield. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
When you see the Muslims and they got their little hat, what they got on their head?
The moon and the crescent. I mean,
They got the crescent moon, the star. That's engraving images out.
right.
They worship those things. You understand? When you start to do those, when you start to do that and start praying to these different, you start praying to different deities and stuff like that. Like we get to false religions, man. You got religions where they worship cows out. Like a cow has more value than a human.
Right.
And they will pray to a damn cow. You're not supposed to do that. The Lord is telling you this is the issue. You should not be doing that. You should not be carving anything into your body. You see what I'm saying? If you're an Israelite, you see what I'm saying? You got tattoos, okay. But now that you're here, you shouldn't be going out getting tattoos.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be going out there putting all those carvings on your body. You know, this is what it's talking about. Keep going.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Here it is. The Lord said, you better not bow your head to it. That's what you see. People they pray to that cross. They bow their head and pray to that in front of that cross. You feel me? They worship the moon, the stars, the sun. They kiss it. You see what I'm saying? Like this is what they do. You see what I'm saying? So you're giving power to something. You're giving power to something that has no power. You feel me?
Right.
The Lord said, I'm a jealous God. I'm a jealous God. I'm the one to do these things for you. But you praying to something else? You worshiping something else? Look at this, Father. I'm always going to go back to that because as a man, you can understand being a parent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You out there and you busting your butt, you feel me? And you doing everything for your child. You see what I'm saying? You see them go up there and they give credence and they exalt another man. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Before you. I don't care how tough you think you are. The Lord say, I am a jealous God.
Right.
The Lord say, I am a jealous God. Let you go out here and you busting, you doing certain things, and next thing you know, your son and your daughter, they giving credit. They giving the credit of all their successes to another man. How you gonna feel? You gonna be jealous?
Betrayed.
You gonna feel betrayed. You gonna feel like, damn, what I need you for?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If we can feel that way on a human level, what you think the Most High feel? Keep going up.
The iniquities of the father upon the children, and see the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Yeah, pretty much you doing these things and you visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children up into the third and fourth generation, man, of them that hate me. You see what I'm saying? You must hate me to do this.
Right.
You must hate me to do these things. You feel me? And this thing is going to trickle down for generations. To the third and fourth generation, it's going to trickle down. That's what the Lord is saying, man. Keep going.
And suing mercy unto thousands of me that love me and keep my commandments.
Mm-hmm. And show mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So how many commandments we got so far out of the 10?
I think that's 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's go in order. That's the first.
How can I have any God before me?
Thou shalt not have any gods before me. You see what I'm saying? If we don't know this, like for those that's online, if we don't know this, like let's start etching this into our memory right now. You feel me?
Right.
The very first commandment is thou shalt not have no gods before me. You see what I'm saying? Don't put nothing before the Most High.
Right.
I don't care if it's your wife, your husband. I don't care if it's your children. Don't put nothing before the Most High. What's number 2?
Thou shalt not worship any graven images.
Thou shalt not worship any graven images. You see what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't be praying and worshiping things that has nothing that's not the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Like those things is considered as a sin to the Lord, man.
Right.
And the Lord will take it out on generations for us doing it. Like this is painting a different picture of the Lord that we thought we served in that Christian church.
Right.
Lord, we thought we served in the Christian church. You know, he was all forgiven. The Lord said, man, I'll punish you 3 and 4 generations for doing this wickedness to me, man. You hate me? I'll punish your grandkids for this.
Right.
I'll punish your great grandkids for this. You see what I'm saying? That's the God we serve, man. So that's 2. Let's get into the third. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bow down.
No, that's still in accordance with their graven images.
Oh, okay.
Keep going up. Keep reading.
You shouldn't serve them.
Now go to verse 7.
Oh, shit, serve them.
Exodus 20, verse 7. Thou shalt not take thy name of the Lord thy God in vain.
And say, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. You see what I'm saying? Meaning, you should not take the name of the Lord and it be empty. You see what I'm saying? Like that's layered. You see what I'm saying? Like we know that the Most High's name is what?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. You shouldn't be using that name all frivolously. You see what I'm saying? Just running your mouth, just going around saying his name. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be doing that. But how else do you take the name of the Lord thy God? How else do you take his name in vain?
When you swear upon it.
When you swear upon it, you swear upon something that don't belong to you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But also, when you start doing things that's not according to these law, statutes, or commandments, and you claiming to be a child of the Lord, if you're an Israelite, and you're supposed to be serving the Most High power, but yet you out here doing all manners of wickedness,
right,
taking his name in vain. You making his name to mean nothing. It's empty.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's null and void then. Good.
Is that what that means when people say, "Oh, you supposed to be a Christian"? You know, when you do something messed up, because you all holier, you know what I mean? And then people look at you like, "Hey, you supposed to be a Christian." You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like,
but really that's what
not to say that, you know, but that's
yeah.
You know, that's like
it's certain things that being an Israelite, like look at it from the UPK.
Right.
It's certain things that you better not be doing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We serve the Lord here.
to lock it one more time, because you know that's what people do to us, right?
Yeah.
I thought y'all was in the UPK.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what they use against you when they think you're doing something wrong.
yeah. So and that's what they think, But this is why you got to understand what the laws of God is. You see what I'm saying? Just a short, sidebar. Like, I've been around Christians before, stone cold Christians. You see what I'm saying? And you can use a curse word, what they consider a curse word.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And they get offended.
Right.
You will not use that profanity around me.
Right.
You will not use that profanity around me.
You know, Christian.
But meanwhile, they eating ham.
Yeah.
They eating pork. They eating pork chops when they telling you that you're not going to use profanity around them.
At the crab feast at the church.
At the crab feast, at the bull roast,
At the church.
at the church. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But they telling you that you can't curse, but we know the strong English. They telling you can't curse because it's profanity.
Right.
Is that a sin?
So
What's the sin? What's the sin in that situation?
repeat that again. Give me the.
You and ISUPK, a Christian catch you curse. They sitting at you may be at slavery. Y'all eating lunch. I mean, you see some chicken, man, this goddamn chicken, tired of this damn chicken. You feel
Right.
He gets offended because he feel like you're cursing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's a good old Christian. And he pulls out his ham and cheese sandwich.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
Who's wrong in that situation?
He is. Pull out that ham and cheese.
Who's sinning in that situation?
Want to pull out that ham and cheese.
There you go. That's actually the profane thing.
Right.
That's actually something that's profane. You see what I'm saying? Because the Lord told you not to do it.
Right.
And you're doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like, now, yeah, you're supposed to be seasoned with your words and how you speak and stuff like that. You feel me? But if you use strong English and you say certain things and stuff, that is not a sin.
Right.
This is why we got to know and understand what the law is. You see what I'm saying? This is why we're in the law class.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters don't understand just these 10 commandments. Well, mind you, we got over 600 laws. And that may seem like a lot. It's not.
Right.
It's not. You see what I'm saying? It becomes a lot when people start creating on their own laws.
Right.
People create a law real quick and you feel like, damn, everything I do is wrong. The scriptures also say there is no sin where there is no law.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. So taking the Lord's name in vain is you're supposed to be standing, you're supposed to be a representative of the Most High.
Right.
And you're doing something that goes in opposition to what he's telling you to do. So that's you being an Israelite and you out here and you at the bull roast, you at the crab feast, getting down. That's taking the Lord's name in vain now. You out here and you running your mouth and you just, saying the Most High's name, just frivolously. You see what I'm saying? That's taking his name in vain. What you saying his name for? What are you saying his name for? You're not saying it to add value to the conversation. You just running your mouth saying his name. Don't do that, huh?
Right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Watch your mouth. So that's the third commandment. Do not take the Lord thy God's name in vain. We'll be at
Verse 7.
Go finish 7 off.
For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain.
The Lord say, I'm not holding you guiltless out. You keep running, you keep my name out your mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how you know you black. This is a this is not this is a black book. Hey, listen now. Keep my name out your mouth. I'm telling you.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, I'm going to hold you accountable for it. And the Lord hold you accountable. Sometimes that means, you might gotta be born again.
Right.
Literally. You see what I'm saying? He's gonna take you away from it.
Good.
Keep going.
Verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Now this is the big one right here. This is the big one right here. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What does holy mean? What does holy mean?
Be set.
To be separate. Remember this. It say, remember the Sabbath day to keep it separate. You feel me? The Sabbath day is a separate day from every day of the week. You feel me?
Right.
Keep read verse 9 up the show.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of thy Lord thy God.
So the Lord, hold on. So the Lord say, in 6 days you should do all your. It say, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. You feel me? In it thou shalt do no work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, thy maidservant. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The seventh day is the Sabbath. Is the Lord's the seventh day is the Sabbath day. That's the day that's supposed to be set apart from all other days, right?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. On the Sabbath day, what can you do?
Anything you want. It's your day.
Hey, listen, the Jewish, the so-called Jewish man, he said you shouldn't be driving cars. He said you shouldn't use your stoves. You should be walking everywhere. You should have your Sabbath elevator with all the damn buttons pushed. You know, if you live on the 4th floor, you gotta wait. You gotta hit every floor before you get to your apartment building.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because he said you can't even press a button. You got fake Israelite groups out here who do the same thing.
Right.
You know, they say you got to sit in your room and read your Bible until the sun go down. You got to stare that word out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Don't lift your head up. You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Doing that teaches you to hate the Sabbath.
Right.
Living life like that teaches you to hate something. You see what I'm saying? That was not the spirit of the Sabbath. The spirit of the Sabbath, you got to realize this was written to the people this was written to the so-called bosses. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you own a business, your business should be closed on the Sabbath. You should give your employees a day off. You see what I'm saying? You absolutely should. You know, we got work to do as priests on the Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? We got the Lord's work to do on the Sabbath. Is that a sin?
La.
This is a separate day. This is a holy day, a separate day for us. We doing the Lord's work on this day.
Right.
We going to camp. We doing the Sabbath service. I mean, a lot of times the Sabbath day is a work day for us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We shouldn't be doing those, like, these fake Israelite groups and these Jewish people, they will have you feeling like when the Sabbath come around, this is a burden.
Right.
I'm telling you, you be scared to move on the Sabbath day. This is because, first of all, they don't understand the scriptures. That's first. But second of all, they learned it from the Jewish man who hates the Sabbath.
Right.
He hates the Sabbath, huh? Because you got to think about it. He's in his heaven right now. Business is booming for him.
Right.
On the Sabbath day, if he got to rest, you see what I'm saying? He losing money. He losing revenue.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? His resources may dwindle on the Sabbath day. He hates the Sabbath. Huh? And I'm not saying that just to say it. They hate the Sabbath. They sit around and they cannot wait for sunset to come.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you thank the Lord for the Sabbath day. That you got a day off, man. That you can come and chill with your family. You want to go to the park and play a little ball or throw a ball with your kids? Go do that. You want to take your rib out, go grab something to eat or something like that? Go do it. The Lord, it say man was made for the Sabbath, not Sabbath. It say the Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath.
Right.
What that means is the Sabbath was made to serve you. You see what I'm saying? The Sabbath was literally made to serve you. It's gonna give you a day off. It's gonna give you a break. You see what I'm saying? Imagine a woman, she's a great cook. And she cooking in a restaurant 6 days out of the week. But she come home and she ain't never got time to cook for her own house. So everybody's experiencing her gifts and her delicious food. On the Sabbath day, the Lord is saying, listen, she can stay home, cook for your family, and spend that time with your family.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The Sabbath is not I know before coming into UPK and understanding what the Sabbath really meant. Man, on Friday felt like, oh shit, man, we got the Sabbath coming around. Man, Friday sunset, man, I can't do nothing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't wait till Saturday sunset.
Right.
Because you felt like, man, I can live my life again. Not knowing the whole time, the whole point of the Sabbath day was for you to enjoy yourself.
Right.
That's your day to enjoy yourself. Now, we're priests of the Lord, so we got a different responsibility. But for everybody else, you see what I'm saying? Go enjoy yourself. You see what I'm saying? You want to have a little bit of fun and stuff like that, go do that.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to do certain things and stuff, man, go do it. Just make sure it's lawful.
Right.
That's all it is. Just make sure it's lawful. And that's how you keep the Sabbath day out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So here it is. We got, man, we had, for time's sake. All right, so we got the first 4 commandments. Who can name them in order right now without looking at your Bible? We just went through. We just went through 4 commandments. This is how we teach our kids.
Right.
This is how we teach these young brothers in the streets. This is how we teach these young sisters. You see what I'm saying? What are the first 4 commandments that we went over today? That we can do it in order. Don't look at your notes. Yeah, man, we just talked about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is how we learn. You see what I'm saying? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
I'm gonna let young man Brian do it.
Anybody online? You can type it in the chat too.
They cheat. They cheat.
All right, for time's sake, I'll give it to you. So the first one is thou shalt have no put no gods before me. The second one, no engraven images. The third one, do not take the Lord's name in vain. And the fourth one, keep the Sabbath day. Understand? So those 4 have to deal with the Most High. Think of it like that.
Right.
Those 4 commandments deal with the Most High. From 5 to 10, it's going to deal with its brotherhood.
Right.
It's dealing with people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So here it is, like the whole point of this class was, got to get out of that. We got to get out of that mindset of these young brothers and these young sisters. They're just so out of control. They ain't like we used to be, and we point the blame at them. You got to point the blame at each other, man.
Right.
You're older cat, man. Point the blame at yourself. Now the question should be, what can I do to teach my brothers and sisters?
Right.
These so-called white. What can I do to teach them now? What can I do to fix the training of thought that they've had for all their life so far? You feel me?
Right.
And the only logical answer you can come up with is to get into the UPK.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you need to get into the UPK, learn these law, statutes, and commandments, and then have the brotherhood. You understand? Have the brotherhood to take it out there and teach the youth, man.
Right.
Have the courage to teach them when they come up against you. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we take back our youth. You see what I'm saying? Not by sitting there running our mouth and blaming them and acting like we ain't have a part in it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And this is what we're going to be doing. In this law class, we're going to start breaking these things down. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can't keep the law if you don't know it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is why the Sabbath day is so important.
Right.
If you follow along with the UPK on the Sabbath day, what do? We read the law.
Right.
We read it in the Hebrew and then we read it in the English every single Saturday. This is the whole point. This is what the Lord set up. Huh? So here it is. The Lord is telling us to teach the youth. The Lord is telling his priests and prophets, go into my people and teach them and raise them right. You see what I'm saying? Who are we to blame the youth for something that we didn't teach them, man?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, get to this UPK, man. This is the only place you're gonna learn how to serve the Lord. And this is the only place where you can have any authority to teach out of this book, man. And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under command and General Yohana. If it's not under command and General Yohana, it is not the truth. We've been bringing this out since 1969, that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. And this oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, you understand? And at this time, we're going to have Officer Matham. He's going to come up and read the security announcements. Shalom, Baltimore.
Right. Excellent class. See, it wasn't too many answers online. People have to start learning them laws. They gotta start learning, man. And just like you said, right? How can you keep the law if you don't know the law? It's a lot. Yeah. Should I stay standing up? Stay standing up? Yeah, stay standing up. Security announcement. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced by Isra. A tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Preach fund, a free will offering, which is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, up and coming holy convocation. We have the memorial blowing of the trumpet, which is Sunday, September 21st. It begins at 7, right? At 7 p.m. It's going to be food, drink, and it's going to be brotherhood. So remind Akim Aquathim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a troop in the school, he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim Barak, Yahweh Shimi Al-Shabarakatha, Yahweh Shimi Al-Shabarakatha, Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed.